It's time for the film room, and on this episode, we're going to take a look at USC receiver Jordan Addison. Now, if you're not familiar with what I do in these film rooms, it's not a highlight, it's not a hype video. I'm going to break down clips from Jordan Addison's games to illustrate, to showcase the type of prospect he is and how he could translate to the NFL. So, Addison is a guy that could be the first receiver taken in the 2023 NFL draft. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the tape. What really stands out to me with Jordan Addison right away is just his ability to make plays and score. Here, quick wide receiver screen. He's able to take it, work his way through traffic, and burst in for the touchdown. He's just showing the ability to get the ball in his hands and make plays with it. And then here against Oregon State, he scores the game-winning touchdown, making this catch with a defender flying over, showing that good concentration. Game in and game out, Jordan Addison, whether it was in Pittsburgh and then transferring to USC, the guy just had a knack for making plays. Now, if we look at the type of receiver that Jordan Addison is, the first thing that you have to look at is his ability to win down the field. Now, he's not going to get targeted here. He's down at the bottom of your screen right out here. He's not going to get targeted on this. He probably should have. But he just has that elite speed to get downfield, bursts at this cornerback, and then is able to make a move to the outside. He's got him beat. Williams, for whatever reason, looks his way, then goes off. But he's got a good couple yards beat on this cornerback, which could have been a touchdown. All Williams has to do is throw this ball out there, and you look right here, he's got 2 yards on the cornerback. And so he's got that speed to be able to win deep. Now, I just showed you him burning his cornerback deep and not getting the ball. Here against Stanford, we see him actually getting it. So as you see from the arrow, he's at the bottom of the screen, and he's going to run a post route and get behind this guy, and he's able to track that ball, make the catch, break the tackle, and get in for the touchdown. And as we see it from the end zone view, the thing I like the most here is just his ability to track the ball. That ball isn't just where he has to run out. He has to adjust to it and alter his route to make that catch. As we see it from this side of the view, just beats him with speed. Doesn't have to get too fancy. The cornerback's playing off, and he's able to just run past him. And right here we see it. He's kind of going like he's going to cross the field here, but he was able to track that ball, get upfield, get vertical, and run underneath that ball for the long touchdown. And so when you've got good receivers, guys with deep speed, it's one thing to be able to run deep, but you've got to be able to track that ball, because that ball might not always be exactly where it's supposed to be. And having that ability to see it and run to it is something that the top deep receivers have. Now, one more clip of his vertical routes here. This time, Addison's in the slot, and once again, they have to give him space. They got to give him that cushion. You can't get up and press him because he's got that speed to go past you. So you got to give him some room. And what I like about this clip is it shows Addison's route running on his deep routes. It's one thing just to be able to run and just go past the guy, or just run away from him. You can't do that in the NFL because half these cornerbacks run 4.3s themselves. So here we have Addison once again in the slot, and he's going to push at this safety, nickelback, whatever he is, and he's going to push up and then out. Like he's going to go maybe down the seam, down this way, getting that cornerback to basically turn, and then he puts the foot down and basically gets him to stumble. Look at that separation. He's able to go. This would be a touchdown if he didn't have to slow up. Hey, this ball wasn't out in front of him exactly, as we see here from the end zone view. He had to slow down to make this catch. Otherwise, as we see from the all 22, look at this the separation he has. I mean, that's a good 3 yards, 4 yards here. If that ball's out in front of him and he doesn't have to slow down to get it, he's got another long touchdown. And when you've got that speed and you've got the ability to set up and body lean and push and get leverage one way and make a sharp cut the other way, that's why Jordan Addison is being talked about as one of the top receivers in this class and potentially the first wide receiver taken in the draft. Now, I had mentioned that in that last clip how you've got to give him some space. You can't get up and press him. Well, teams are going to look to do that, especially in the NFL. They're going to look to get their hands on him. They don't want to give him a free release so he can build up that speed. Here, Stanford is doing that. He's on the outside. He's lined up here at the top. He's got that corner up, press man coverage. But we see this quick release. Okay, so at the snap, he's going to make a quick move and burst in. Once again, didn't get targeted. Caleb Williams is probably looking. This defender's probably in that window. This guy is sitting right there. Safety's coming down. So he ends up going elsewhere. But just look at that release. It's not like he's stutter stepping for a little bit of time. It's quick. It's fast. Kind of a little one step out and cut in. And it just shows that ability when he does have shadow man press coverage like he is here, or even, press man, he's able to, that cornerback had no way of getting his hands on him. Hey, if he would have tried to put his hands on him, he would have whiffed. He basically whiffed right there because he was able to make that quick move inside. Now, while the strength of Jordan Addison is his ability to get deep and to win with vertical routes, he's much more than that. Here back at the Oregon State game, here he's lined up in the slot, and he's going to run, and he's going to run a comeback route. And what I like about this is, once again, he's going to push almost like it's a wheel route, forcing this defensive back to be on the defensive right away. He's got to turn and run, and then we see he's able to then sink those hips, make that stutter step, and look at the separation. Right? Caleb was probably looking deep right here to the receiver going down the seam, and he kind of sees him maybe a little late to make this pass. But it's just that ability. If the quarterback was looking right there, that's an easy first down, especially thrown with good anticipation. And that's what you like. He's got that speed to be able to push you deep, and then you add in that he's able to then sink those hips and break back. I mean, look at that separation that he can get there, and you add those things together, and it's a lot to like out of Jordan Addison. All right, and so we see that once again, working deep for the comeback route. Once again, I think Jordan Addison, his role in the NFL and whatever team that drafts him, is going to be him working vertically, but he's going to use that to set it up. So we got the comeback route. Here he's going to run an in-breaking route. Down at the bottom of the screen, outside on the right. He's going to push deep. Once again, pushing deep. This corner is thinking, okay, I've got to trail. I've got to run and try to catch him, not to give up this touchdown. And then we see here, just like before, he doesn't sink his hips. It's not a hard cut, but he's able to then sink his hips and then break in. Look at that separation right there. Once again, couple yard separation, and he's open. Doesn't get targeted, but just that ability to push deep, sink those hips, and break in. Even though he's not getting targeted, he's showing that he has this ability to create separation with his route running. He's not just solely creating separation based on his athletic traits. He's able to make moves to get open, and that's what receivers that have success early in the NFL are able to do. They come into the NFL with some route running ability, the ability to create that separation on their own, and we're seeing that right here with Jordan Addison. And then the last clip, once again, everything is set up by that deep route. Here he is in the slot at the top of the screen. He's just going to run a slam. Once again, pushes deep, gets that cornerback to kind of turn, to get outside, to turn to go towards his outside. He's able to just put a hard foot in, roll inside. And then what I like here, the ball's a little high. He's able to go up and get it. It's just that body control, the good hands that he can just go up and catch that ball above his head to get the extra yardage. Good hands, speed to push deep, good cut inside, makes him a very difficult receiver to cover. These Oregon State and Stanford cornerbacks and defensive backs that we've seen here, they had their absolute hands full trying to cover Jordan Addison. There is so much to like about Jordan Addison as a NFL draft prospect. Like I said at the beginning and during, he has the opportunity to be the top receiver taken in this draft class. I think you're looking at it's either between him, Quentin Johnson from TCU. I think you've got, potentially a Zay Flowers, potentially a Jalen Hyatt. There's no true elite receiver. There's no Jamar Chase. There's no Jalen Waddle. There's none of those guys in this class. And so you've got Jackson Smith-Njigba, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnson, maybe Jalen Hyatt. Those four, I think, are vying for this. And I think if a team wants that deep threat and not just, Jalen Hyatt is a deep threat and probably has better top-end speed than Jordan Addison. But Jordan Addison is a lot more of a complete receiver when you look at those two. Not only can he win deep, but he's got that ability to run those routes, and he's not so much of a one-trick pony. The player that Jordan Addison reminds me a lot of, and I've seen other people say this, so this isn't just me coming up with this, he reminds me a lot of Calvin Ridley. I was a huge Calvin Ridley fan when he came out of Alabama. He was my top receiver in that class. I thought the Falcons got a great pick with him, and after maybe a little bit of struggles, because, a lot of times receivers struggle early. I mean, not everyone's Jamar Chase. Calvin Ridley, before his suspension, was the Falcons' number one receiver. And so I think Jordan Addison reminds me a lot of him, a guy that's, smaller, 6 foot, 175 pounds. But he's got the ability to go down the field. He could use that to set up his routes like we saw. Where he goes, it'll be interesting. Like I said, it's not an elite class, so we might not see a receiver go until the 20s. I think his ceiling, might be the Tennessee Titans at 11. If the top offensive tackles are off the board, the Titans could really use some juice. And so maybe they take a look at Jordan Addison and say, hey, we need someone that can give some speed over the top, and maybe they go with him. Or maybe some teams just say, hey, we don't love this receiver class. We'll just push off and wait till the second round. And you see a guy like Jordan Addison maybe fall into the 20s, maybe late 20s, just because of just not the big need right there. But I'm a big fan of him. He's a guy that I have him as one of my top 3 receivers in this class. And on the right team, using him in the right way, I think he could have a really good NFL career. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode of the Film Room. The best way to get these is to subscribe, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on social media as well, draft_Brian. Wherever social media is, I'm on it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time.